Yes, brothers and sisters, we are finally back again for the second reaction video of today, brothers and sisters. The very first one will be where in the first comment in the comment box below, and of course that will be on the Mystics Reacts YouTube channel right there. And then welcome to each and every one of you guys, and with that, let's get into the vibrations for today right there. That was pretty fast right there, brothers and sisters. Of course, by the way, I must tell you about the previous one. The previous one was, of course, a recall of Hurricane Maria, my experience, brothers and sisters. Oh, that was something else indeed. Anyways, brothers and sisters, let's get into the vibrations for today right there. This is none other than Daniel John Baptist. Who is this individual? Actually did a reaction on their situation. Unfortunately, one of the individuals who's a known cyclist in Dominica, Bram, aka Bram, that they call him Bram, he passed away. It was this individual and Bram who was on the motorbike, and unfortunately Bram did not make it. But of course, Daniel, aka John Baptist, was the pinion rider, so to speak, on that bike when it slammed into a vehicle. And of course, his friends set up a GoFundMe to actually help him with the expenses right there. And of course, I'll be posting this link in the video description below, so you guys can definitely check it out right there if you want to assist in providing some sort of funds for him right there. Another young man who's trying his best to see what he can do, and of course encouraging the young ones to do better with themselves. And of course, he's an artist in Dominica, you know, and you know, he's trying to do something instead of doing, you know, negative things. He's trying to do something positive, and of course encourage others, the ghetto youths and so forth, to do something better with themselves. And of course, he was in Antigua when that situation happened, and unfortunately, you know, that situation ended up with him being there. And of course, the friend of his or his acquaintance, whoever the individual is to him, Bram, which of course is one of the famous cyclists or former cyclists of Dominica, ended up passing away. And of course, he was injured and is on the hospital seeking assistance. So if there's a possibility you can give or you know, make a donation or something like that, that link will be in the description below, or if you want, you can request it in the comment box below, and I can definitely send it for you right there. Anyways, brothers and sisters, we are heading into what we want to talk about here today. And of course, I'm bringing this because it's very interesting what the Prime Minister is saying. I wonder if the Prime Minister knows what he's saying. And well, sometimes, you know, when people say things, they believe it. They believe it. For example, if you ask somebody who's, you know, out of shape, and you ask them to rate themselves, this individual might state that they are a 10, because that's how they think that they are a 10 physically looking, when they're not a 10 at all. They might be a -5, but hey, who's to say what they are? We are all fearfully and wonderfully made, but sometimes we just take this image that God has made us in, and we just want to do things with it that God never intended. But that is another story right there, brothers and sisters. I think I went off a little bit, but let's get into the vibrations for this one right there.
That Dominica faces is no different from the rest of the world.
The Prime Minister is saying certain things about Dominica is, you know, is no different from other places. However, if you look at other places seem to be elevating. For example, St. Kitts recently just gave their, let me share it with you guys, brothers. Let me share it with you guys. Hold on. This, of course, is it right there. Independence 40 reset major announcement. This is, of course, from St. Kitts right there. $1,000 for persons who have paid a social security, reconnection of persons electricity and water and that owed and was disconnected. So individuals who owed, they would get reconnected, and you know, if they were disconnected, they will be reconnected as well. Reduced in the land cost right there. Waiver of 3 months to pay for new land owner, and of course, and a lot more to come. This is the actual video of them, of the Prime Minister, speaking about that sentiment right there.
And as a token of our appreciation, Madam Speaker, this administration has decided that for all of our workers who are registered with Social Security, as Independence 40 reset, we have done all of that for them. We now are saying to them, thank you, and we will deposit $1,000 for each of our workers.
You come from two
SKERRIT come and say things, you know, things happen. Well, SKERRIT continue.
major natural disasters. 2005 2015,
Yes.
2017. Then when you overcoming those, COVID-19 came in
Yes.
For about 2 or 3 years.
Okay, yeah.
Then here comes the Russia-Ukraine war.
Yes.
The government has had to subsidize and to cushion the impact
Yes.
of the rising cost of energy and food supplies to the country.
By shutting down the country, and then you needed to supply for the people, which you did not supply. You then needed help from overseas. People then gave a few dollars to a number of persons who were, working in the business. Well, I think it's private or public, whichever. Individuals were getting probably $300 or $400, depending on if they had a family or whatever it is, brothers and sisters. So there was that. That was the help from overseas. And St. Kitts and a number of places were actually helping them, their brethren and systems during the times that you mentioned. Bahamas was another one who faced even a stronger hurricane. Today is by the way, guys, check out the previous reaction I did on the Mr. X reaction, guys. It pretty much reiterates what happened during that time. But Bahamas also faced something stronger than Hurricane Maria, which is, of course, the 6-year anniversary of Hurricane Maria today. And SKERRIT them is still blaming these things. They faced the strongest hurricane I know in my lifetime. Bahamas, not just facing it, The hurricane stopped over Bahamas and was spinning for a few hours before it continued. Yet still Bahamas, a few months later on, got a new school. But SKERRIT is talking about, there are things happening all over the place and, it puts up weight. Yet still, you are the prime minister of a country and you are building a mansion. In the hard economic times, with all these things, you are building a mansion, not a little house you're building, things are hard. A mansion that is bigger than the other mansions you're building. And you're trying to tell the people that, things are bad and, so forth and so forth. Well, what else can you say? You have to try to trick the people as long as possible.
We have not introduced any new taxes, rather we have reduced on taxes in the country.
You reduce on taxes, SKERRIT. Which tax you reduce? Brothers and sisters, can you guys tell me which taxes SKERRIT reduce? Look at the price of gas. I hear gas going to $20 soon. Gas going to $20 soon. 1707 for gas, brothers and sisters. The second highest in the Caribbean.
We continue to ensure that we provide for the less fortunate among us, and
that has always happened in SKERRIT. That has always been happening
in advancing economic efforts in the country, whether it's through hotel construction or the purchase of businesses and expansion.
SKERRIT is talking about hotel construction, which is not a bad thing. But you need hotel construction in people that actually want to come to the place to stay. But since people not coming, look at, for example, Kepinski. I saw an article or an indication or an article stating that I think you guys went out to Kepinski Hotel, wherever this Kepinski Hotel, for the electrical generators, and they said no to you guys. They stated that it's empty. The place is empty. The Continental is empty, brothers and sisters. I'm not there, so I don't know. That's what I read. But it's alleged that the continent is empty and you wanted the electrical stuff. So you want to build more hotels to create more empty hotels? Huh? Don't you need a surplus of individuals coming to Dominica? I mean, Magwesa, you spoke about the what do you call that? Straight flight from Miami to Dominica, which is only apparently seasonal for a month. And that is during the Creole season, the Creole festival. And then it goes back to how it normally is. We had free flights every day, remember that? It's no longer existing, brothers and sisters. It doesn't exist no more. We have either two or three times a week. We have straight flights from Miami. They say they wanted to increase flights later on, but instead of increasing flights on daily flights, brothers and sisters, they sent it somewhere else and decreased the flights. And then people in the airport tell me, it's seasonal. It's not seasonal, brothers and sisters. You would think seasonal will have to do with when people actually want to come to the country. Carnival time, it wasn't there. People coming to the country wasn't there. So if you think about seasonal, I think seasonal will be from October to February. Not true. But it's only within October to November they're having daily flights, so individuals want to come back and forth. But SKERRIT will talk. Yes.
Expansion of businesses, whether it is to provide additional space for Clare Harbour in Portsmouth to provide employment opportunities, and they're now looking for an additional 200 people to be employed.
That's good.
On top of these 300 that they currently have.
That's good. You know why that is good? because on the indication of foreign and exchange coming into the country, because Clay Harbor is a United States company. It's a United States company, therefore the money is coming from overseas into Dominica. You had the ideal one, the ideal business, which was Ross University. Now you're starting afresh. And I think there's what, 9 people in the school? 9 or 8 people in the school? You know how long it's going to take you to build if this school survives? With all the competition that is there right now, you are now propping Clay Harbor as being the #1 facilitator for employment. People on phone taking blows from people in America who feel entitled to things. Well,
what it is to purchase Domlec so that the government now can work with Domlec to acquire additional assets and ensure that it can cushion the impact of increased energy.
Which it has not done. The only thing Domlec has done is increase prices on people. One of the things that you know how to do, brothers and sisters, is when you calculate the prices of yesteryears. Today's September 18, 2023. Calculate the price of now for electricity versus September 18, 2022, and then calculate that, go back to 2021, 2020, and then look at the trajectory to see if it's actually going up or down. Dominica has the highest kilowatt the highest prices, brothers and sisters. I was doing some research on the geothermal thing because I was arguing some individuals on that, and I found out that Dominica has the highest. We are let me not even talk about
public, right, talking about increasing the tax threshold, the VAT threshold from 100 kilowatt units to 150, and also
that's good. You want to increase it, but the smart thing that you guys did is you put the monies in other places. For example, the gas has a reason. You put the monies on other places and you say, oh, let's decrease this. Sooner or later, you know, people need more gas for them to move up and down the place. Therefore, you put it in the right places where people need the gas for them to move. And therefore, you put in that and then increasing it in other places and say, oh, look, we're decreasing it in other places, brothers and sisters. You decreasing it in other places just so that the people can pay more money elsewhere. $17 for gas, brothers and sisters. 17.
removing VAT on fuel surcharge, and all of these things are recurrent revenue reductions, and so forth. And you're talking about increasing staff at the Dominica China Friendship Hospital to ensure we provide better and improved care to people. The number of the doctors, we have, for example, for a country like Dominica.
Before you continue, you know how long them people have been requesting that they get assistance? You know how long nurses I knew back in Dominica days, back in the days of true Dominica, nurses that were there sticking with it, man, until they couldn't handle it no more, and they had to leave all, not some, brothers and sisters, all the individuals I knew as friends who were nurses in Dominica are gone. All of them.
To have 4 orthopedic surgeons employed is way too much per capita. To have 4 gynecologists employed is way too many for our population.
Brothers and sisters, so you're saying that 4 is too much for a population of about 50,000. Say women are there, say about 25,000. You have 4 gynecologists that will handle 25,000 women.
And taking into consideration the number of births in our country. But we have those there employed. People don't talk about those things. I believe that the health professionals, and I've said so to them privately, and I'll say so publicly, that they have to defend themselves. Because the criticisms I'm hearing from the public, it has to do with the delivery of healthcare services.
There's that, and he's right. People are indeed talking about that, but you have to look at why, the why factor. Why are the nurses and the doctors acting the way that they are acting? Are they frustrated as a result of lack of equipment? Are they frustrated because there's a lack of what is needed to help the patients, and therefore they keep asking the government or the minister in charge of health, hey, this is what we need, that what we need, this is what we need, and they're not getting it. And therefore, if they're not getting it, they are frustrated. As a result of frustration, they're passing it on to the people. Isn't that a possibility?
And so it is left to them to stand up and say, well, what you guys saying about us is not true.
I think they should stand up and say exactly what is happening. And saying, hey guys, we don't have the equipment. I know I talked to some of them, I don't know for no, but last year I was talking to a set of them. And they say there's a lack of equipments and things that are needed.
And I don't think it is true. We all have had family members who go to the hospital.
So you want to tell the population what they've seen is not true? So what you believe in your mind, you believe that even if you obese and out of you looking like a hot potato, even if you looking like that, you say 10. You don't believe what people say. Hey, you need to lose weight. No, that's not good to do. Take your time. No, you know. You believe. You don't believe what the population is saying. You don't believe it.
And health clinics and receive the care, and generally, by and large, people get good service at the hospital. We have the best medical facilities that we had in entire history. We have more specialist doctors.
Which history you talking about? The history of the new Dominica China Friendship Hospital? Because I know you're not talking about Dominica Healthcare. I know back in the day when individuals meet me overseas saying they used to come Dominica for operations, they can't do that again. Now they're sending people overseas from Dominica overseas. You yourself admitted. Wait, no. Scared, you admitted it?
If my children fall sick, I can fly them out. But what about all of us here, all of you here? How many of us have health insurance?
Scared, you say you can send your children and your family overseas for better medical health attention, and then you're asking the people about them, and then you saying what the people saying is not true.
2017. Then you're talking about increasing staff at the Dominica China Friendship Hospital to ensure we provide. I believe that the health professionals, and I've said so to them from the public, it has to do with the delivery of healthcare services. And so it is left to them to stand up and say, well, what you guys saying about us is not true. And I don't think it is true. We all have had family members who go to the hospitals and receive the care. And generally, by and large, people get good service at the hospital.
So why they always complaining? Why people from overseas coming down who are medical doctors and nurses coming down to Dominica to check on their family members because things are not going well? People have to be on their phone with their medical families from overseas wondering what is going on. Hey, can you get this medication for me? Can you get this and that for me? This and that, because it's missing in the hospital. It's missing. They're calling their friend, hey, can you organize this for me?
We have the best medical facilities.
And you're saying it's the best, my God. How is the best and you know you can send your children overseas for better medical attention? You have the best, but you send your kids over or can't send your kids over for better medical attention. The Minister of Health last time, McIntyre, from my understanding, his family members overseas seeking medical attention. He's the health minister. Oh, Lord have mercy. He's the health minister. I remember when I called and it is stated that he was overseas seeking medical attention for his family member. It's alleged. Hey, boy, that is truly something else, eh? And you come in and say it's the best. How you have the best in Dominica and you sending your family members overseas for medical attention? How on earth people crying and say, look at it, look at it, don't finish, you know.
Or stroke, or one of them fall sick, a lady, somebody falls sick, a lady 42 years old, gets a heart attack, or stroke, or one of them. She has to be airlifted. She could feel sick Friday, you know.
She has to be airlifted to be sent out because Dominica does not have the best medical attention. You get stroke or heart attack, whatever it is, brothers and sisters, and you have to fly for hours or a set of minutes to get to another Caribbean island to get better medical attention. And it's scary coming and telling people there's better medical attention.
Clinics and service at the hospital. We have the best medical facilities that we had, entire history. We have more specialist doctors at the disposal of Dominicans than we had in every time of our history. We
So
have
scared. Why you all, there are other medical professionals and you're not hiring them because they're not supporting you? I mean, that's what some of the things I've been hearing. There are other people out there who were once working in the hospital and because they are apparently not supporting you, not hiring them again. Professionals who are needed in the hospital.
more equipment and diagnostic services anytime in our history. To say that
Boy, I don't even go
that the health services is crumbling is an unfair and malicious statement to make. And
how can it be unfair and malicious? Sorry guys, my box. Yeah, how can it be malicious when that's what we see in objective reality is telling us that is exactly what we are seeing? I mean, that is what we are observing, not just one person, a plethora of individuals. That's what we are noticing, and you're saying what we're seeing is not what we're seeing, even though that's reality.
and we have to be very careful that we don't put that in the minds of Dominican people who, when they get sick, will not want to go, while the rest of people who have access to other means will go and get it, and those who really need it will stay at their homes because of what people are saying that are not true.
Like you just said,
If my children fall sick, I can fly them out. But what about all of...
if your children fall sick, you don't say if your children fall sick, you'll send them PMH, no? Or you send them Dominica China Friendship Hospital, whichever it is. You didn't say that, no? You say if your children fall sick, you can do what?
If my children fall sick, I can fly them out.
He's the Prime Minister of the country. Talking about that, brothers and sisters, today, we have a situation of an individual. Apparently, this individual right there is receiving scotch tape for their injuries right there. Apparently, the hospital doesn't have plaster. Don't be that say that, no. The individual, it don't have plaster, they get scotch tape. On the basis of that, scotch tape, we hospital don't have plaster. My mom, that's crazy. Since last Monday, she going, or she waiting to do a surgery. Last Monday, she waiting to do a surgery. You mean to tell me if it's definitely needed, there's something wrong with the mother and she needs surgery, and up to now she can't get surgery, but you're giving her plaster. Yes, sir. All right, I'll give her scotch tape. Okay then. Since last Monday she waiting to do a surgery. So today's the third time mom is scheduled to do surgery and she can't. The third time she can't. Why? The reason they gave you? No idea. They have not told my mom why. So apparently they cannot tell the mother why they're not giving her the surgery. They can't. She said she asked the nurse and she said she don't know. The nurse said she don't know. But you saying we have the best?
And I don't think it is true. We all have the hospital. We have the best medical facilities that we had, entire history. We have more specialist doctors at the disposal.
Guys, that is today. that is today. And that is also today. That situation is also today.
There is the issue of a particular suture that they need, that they have all the supplies or such, but there's a particular one that they may not have, but they have others.
So Scary, you don't think maybe because they need that particular one? It's like having a big needle and a small needle. The big needle can do the job, but it'll make more harm than good. It'll still do the job, but the smaller needle is needed. You are saying because the big needle is there and I can do the job, even though it'll be much more painful to do. You saying don't get the smaller needle, stay with the big needle. That is what you're saying. And it gets worse.
You may have 5 different medications that you can prescribe to a patient. But the one the doctor may prescribe may not be available. Maybe
the one the doctor prescribed to the patient has to do with the person's biological makeup. And therefore, it's not just subscribing 5 medications. Some medications might have allergies, allergens that can affect individuals. And that particular medication might not have it. And therefore, they request that person gets this one because there are different body types that need different sort of medication. But you're saying because of that one that does these things and complete everything else, you say, no, forget about the 5th one. Go for the 4 others. Boy.
But there are 4 others that you can prescribe.
Yes.
And I think what we need to do is to find a way of have it on the system, so a doctor can go on the system and to see what is available and prescribe a medication. So it's a matter of we having to work.
So you're saying, you just admitted it, you know. You are literally admitting that the hospital is lacking medication equipment that is needed. You are saying because there's 4 more. Because there's 4 more and there's that doctor I'm just prescribed the 5th one. You're saying no, prescribe the 4 others, even though there might be complications with the 4 others. Can't you using your brain? No, you just because it's sounding nice. Well, I know why you're saying these things. The country don't have much money. Most of the money apparently is overseas. So you know you don't want to bring money in. I don't know what you're doing. So let me leave that alone.
To make something work. Because I
make something work. Go and get the 4 orders, man. Get the 4 orders instead.
I mean, in every day, even if we have health insurance, we first must go to Dominica before we are sent by ambulance out of Dominica.
But the reason why you're getting sent outside, you just send you ever hear scared children going to Dominica Hospital? By the fact, you ever hear Mount Daniel have electrical outage? They schedule to have electrical outage in Mount Daniel. All you ever hear that in the recent times that passed there? Because I know from 1 p.m. to 1 a.m. to 1 a.m. or 4 a.m. the next day, or 7 a.m. the next day, lights were going all over Dominica. On Saturday, Sunday, what happening today now? I see somebody make a message saying, well, it's sent us what. I don't know if that was yesterday or today. What we are lights today now? Okay then.
So let us not curse the candle in the darkness.
We shouldn't curse it, SKERRIT. It's you that should take the blame. You literally trying to give excuse as to why all the medication should not be taken because there are others like it. Boy, SKERRIT, you know easy there, boy. You know easy there. Talking about medical, brothers and sisters. Talking about that medical vibrations, man. Update. Dominica breaking news receives information of an incident where a toddler apparently passed away in Coliosi. DBN will keep you in updated. DBN blah 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 and so forth and so forth. Condolences to the family and the friends of the little one right there. And of course, individuals made their comments on this regard right there, which of course I think I share some sentiments as well. That baby should never have to reach all the way to Tong. Never. Why isn't there a proper medical facility in Colio? Well, then again, if the main facility is not doing well, much less for the village called for the village healthcare center, much less. That little one should never have reached there. But they take the little one, Elas, bring to Roseau. 30 minutes to Roseau or more. That little one should never have to reach down. We have a new health center in Colio. It should have all the medical equipments for all emergencies. I agree. This little one would survive if only. There's always the if only. I have friends who have passed away in the hospital in Roseau. Passed away. If only they had the equipments. If only they had the equipments today, brothers. If only they had the equipments, the proper equipments, these people would have been alive today. It seems like people don't understand how precious life itself is. When you live this life, there is no turning back. There's no coming back, you know. No coming back. This is one of the reasons why I always tell people enjoy life to the maximum. But prepare to meet your creator. Boy, Gasa, all right then. One life we have, you know. This little one would have survived if only. How the heck a little one went in the ambulance without any oxygen? The ambulance had oxygen. In simulation, when we was doing simulation in Ross, brothers and sisters, the Seaman Friggy had oxygen. They had oxygen to simulate on the mannequins. All right then. Ambulance without any oxygen after this incident. Strength to you, my girl. That self is another thing right there. Now they talk about the Marigot Healthcare Center or Marigot Hospital. The government of Dominica is pleased to inform the general public that delivery of healthcare services as the new Marigot Hospital Phase 1 commenced on Monday, September 11th. That's about 7 days ago. Under phase 1, the service offered blah 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 blah. But you guys can read this for yourself. The urgent care services will include services related to conditions such as injuries, suspicion of broken bones, chest pains, respiratory, and distress. These clinical services will, be supported with laboratory, radiology, pharmacy services, dental services will also be offered at the facility, which is a good thing. That's what it should be. That's wonderful. But when you look at the systems, brothers and sisters, you tend to wonder what on earth is going on. What on earth is going on right there? So 15 new jobs will be created to ensure effective and efficient delivery of services in this area, blah 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 blah. What are your thoughts, guys? Do you think it's gonna be the same sentiment? I mean, if the hospital in Roseau, people complaining about it, but scared want to say no, they're not complaining. They worry about the services, which of course, cause and effect. If that is happening with the main hospital that is in the capital city of Dominica, what is gonna happen to Marigot? You think Marigot is gonna be better than Roseau, knowing that Marigot is not a government constituency? You think Marigot somehow is just going to magically become magical? We'll have to go Marigot, man, instead. What about Portsmouth? The second tongue. So you think it's going to be better than Portsmouth own? And Portsmouth own is terrible. We talk about smart hospital, brothers and sisters. And the reason why they call it smart, because you can walk into a room and there are light sensors there that will flick on. There's solar on the roof. You don't talk about equipment being smarter, you can do operations or whatnot in the hospital. No, light sensors. And they're calling it smarter. AC, all right. All right then, brothers and sisters. Deliver us from evil. All right then. Brothers and sisters, I also, you know what? Guys, I'm going to leave the rest for next time, man. I was going to talk about something else in that regard, but I'll leave that for some other time, man. But brothers and sisters, as you read this day, faith is about trusting God even when you don't understand his plans. Sometimes it's not his plans that they know. Sometimes we say, oh man, is God plan that they know, brothers and sisters. Sometimes God plan is to ensure that we have the best, but you want to take all kind of route before you go there, and then things happening to you and you think that is God's plan. No, that is not God's plan, brothers and sisters. And you see, boy, I have faith, but faith without works is definitely dead. So when things happen in Dominican, you just say, I'll let this other people do it, man. I'll let them do it, man. I won't talk. I will stay quiet, Yes, man. Things are hard. They're making sure the economy hard, so we cannot talk. And, they're appointing people. So when they're not appointing people, people cannot talk, man, because they're afraid to lose their jobs and stuff. And we talk about backbone in the economy. Dominica rock bottom, and all you prime minister coming and lie for all you. Lie there for all you. All right then, because it sounds nice. Obviously, when they're screwing up the place, just like when they screwed up the whole visa thing, UK visa, they screw up Canada own. Canada restore the visa to other people. They screw up UK own. UK obviously going to restore it to other Caribbean islands next year. I know it goes, guys. I don't accept Dominica can't get restored. It's not. Right now, people trying to apply for the visa because there's no visa-free travel to UK now, and man still getting rejected. Peter paying for Paul because of the decisions. That's what I was going to talk about, but let me leave that alone, brothers and sisters. Let me leave that alone. Let me put it in, Brad.
There is an attempt by some in this country. I wanted to address this issue earlier, but I give deference to the Dominic issue. But later I'll address it frontally. But there continues to be an attempt by some in this country to destroy the CBI.
Oh, yeah.
And so they...
Hey, the man that caused it destruction is saying there's an attempt by some to destroy what he has done. 100% his fault. Giving people passport that should not get passport because they reject them in the UK. And there's people coming and flying in the UK because there's visa free. You did not do, all you didn't do the due process saying we have the most robust due diligence process. People who have been rejected, and then all sorts of, not just our passports, you know, brothers and sisters, our diplomatic passports. Man acquire, criminals across the world have acquired. They have Dominica in movies saying, oh, Dominican rich people overseas can acquire Dominican passports so they can go to Dominica or go all other places to evade their dirty ways in their country. The man, Mr. Him in charge of that. And this is what he's saying.
There continues to be an attempt by some in this country to destroy the CBI. And so they are colluding with international journalists and some regional journalists to propagate a lot of mischief, misinformation about our program, all in an effort to destroy it.
To destroy it? So you are the one that destroyed it, we. You that gave people criminals or passports and they enter in people's country, affecting their national security. You are the one doing it. No, because other people have linked up with journalists on the basis of what is happening in Dominica and find what is happening in Dominica. It's really strange. They're about to put on information out there and you come in online on YouTube to say there are other people trying to destroy the program when you are the one who is fully 100% responsible for screwing up the CBI program. This is not alleged now. This is factual details right there. Anyways, brothers and sisters, I go too long on this thing already. What are your thoughts, man? Leave your thoughts in the comment box below right there. And then this is pretty much all about for these here vibrations. Give this video a thumbs up if you want to subscribe. If you want to see more, definitely subscribe and turn on that post notifications so you can get more videos as they tend to come through right there. You'll be notified, brothers and sisters. When you click subscribe, click the bell, and then you click all right there. Before that's it right there, guys, I'll see you guys in the next reaction video. Remember, guys, be real. But remember, be positive. But faith without works is dead.